UAE-based news. This one is by Arabian Business, how UAE plans to attract 25 million visitors to Expo 2020. Pretty interesting stuff. I would not say that it's, really like shocking. More than 1,000 authorized ticket resellers around the world, each one making a commitment of 2 million tickets that they would sell. Another reason why tickets would sell is they have 60 plus shows every day. Just imagine 60 live shows every single day, famous artists, daily parades, cutting edge architecture, 200 food and beverage outlets. Now, the first thought that comes to my mind is, if there are 60 shows every day, each show is, let's say, half an hour to 1 hour, how many shows can I actually watch if I was with my family? I can only watch maybe 1, maybe 2, maximum 3. Okay, so I'll have 3 shows. Then world famous artists. Okay, let's say a very big star comes, fine, I'll come there. But then, would I want to take my family through the crowds and the throngs and all the headache of traveling? Daily parades, how many parades am I going to watch? Cutting edge architecture, fine, I'll see this amazing building. Okay, like for example, how many times would you go to Dubai Mall? Just once. And 200 food outlets. How much food can you eat? You can eat maybe 1, maybe 2, maximum 3. How many outlets can you eat? So when you have too much of a variety, I feel it backfires. When it's just less, sometimes it's more. It's more like the more number of options, the less the sale. Okay. But it's not a bad idea. I would just say that, yes, they are trying to cater to all kinds of crowds. They're trying to make it really big. But these big numbers do not actually mean anything. The only number that does mean is, okay, having 1,000 authorized ticket resellers. I did get a couple of ticket resellers from India who reached out to me, who told me that they're being offered incentives, they're being offered promotional materials. Some of them even send it to me. Amazing brochures, amazing videos. You can see some of the videos online. It's pretty amazing. They are going all out to make sure that they get from Lionel Messi to all the superstars who would be saying, this is an event that you should go to. And why do you think they're kissing Shah Rukh Khan's ass by showing his name on the erection, which I'll speak to about later. Okay. So global networks, online travel agents, tour operators, hotel groups, airlines, value-added packages, and I'm sure they would offer them commissions just to make sure. So if they charge them 1,000, let's say 200, you'll make easy $200. So they'll subsidize the rates just to ensure that they bring in the 25 million visitors to Expo 2020. And I don't know how far this is worthwhile. They even plan to distribute ice cream for free. So you want free ice cream, go to okay. And one of the other ways how they plan to make Expo 2020 a truly global event, they are going to allow Israelis to enter Expo 2020 because Israel is going to have its stall or stand over there. But then that begs the question, the amount of security that they would have to have. Just think how risky it would be, Israelis entering a Muslim country. I mean, all it takes is one mad person to do something dangerous, one mad person. And I would say that would destroy. So it's a very risky encounter. You can have some extreme, but yes, security will be world class. They'll ensure that from technological surveillance to everything else. But then again, we know that you can have all the security in the world. You just need to have one small error, one small room for error, and that would and if any extremist group, anybody is looking for publicity and wanting to be noticed, wanting their cause to be noticed, UAE would, Expo 2020 would be the venue where you'd get global coverage. So very risky. UAE will have to spend a hell lot of money. I personally don't see Expo 2020 being profitable for UAE. I think they've taken more than they can chew on their plate, and it's only going to end up being an expense. Would the gamble pay off? My gut feeling is no. It would get its publicity, it would get its fame, it would get people, but they're not going to make money. They're going to dig themselves in a bigger hole than they actually are. And yes, to encourage the visitors, UAE is also starting a low-cost taxi service. Added to this, to bring in more revenue, Washington Post has been, parading this, that now you can purchase booze or alcohol, because alcohol sales are suffering. Hotels are not having any revenue, not able to sell. People want cheap booze. So when you have booze and alcohol, you know what happens to people when they get drunk. Okay. And I think this is the last news of Expo 2020. You have United States stall in trouble by the national.a. The cost for these stalls, for those of you who do not know, maybe you do know, all these buildings that are being constructed there, they are being paid by the country. Let's say, for example, Spain is having its pavilion. Spain has to pay for it. United States is having a pavilion. United States has to pay for it. Qatar is creating a pavilion. Qatar has to pay for it. Is Qatar there? I think Qatar is there. Yeah. Israel has to pay for it. Now, each of these countries has to pay for that building. Now, here's the part that leaves me thinking. I'm going to spend, let's say, 50 million to build a building in your country. Now, that's me spending money to build in your country. So I'm helping you make money. I'm not making money. I'm building in your country. Then once the building is set up and the Expo 2020, everything is over, I have to leave. So my 50 million is locked in your country. What am I getting in return? That is how I would think with my small little pea brain. Okay. So it's going to be there. Now, maybe they're giving them some benefits like visas, or you can open so many X number of trade licenses, will make it easy for you to, set up business or whatever. Maybe there'll be an internal deal. But the bigger part, which is shocking here, is whenever any country builds the structure, most of the governments, they do not foot this bill. Like in the United States, as per the article, most pavilions at World Expo have big budgets of upward of 50 million, okay, for these structures. However, a law was passed in the United States in 1990 that prevents federal funds being used in US without special approval from Congress. And we know how confused, messed up, and totally, in different directions is the government, okay? They have different parties, each one, like, for example, Brexit. One party says yes, other party says no. Then it never ends. Okay. So the controversy of using public funds dates back to 1992 Expo in Seville, Spain, when Congress blocked the use of taxpayers' money. They're saying use the money for our development, not for building all these Expo. It gives no benefit. Okay. So United States Information Agency that ran its country's public diplomacy efforts was responsible for the US pavilions overseas. And even they got disbanded in 1999, effectively ending public sector support. Ever since, such projects of these Expo and creating all this has struggled to draw sponsorship. So they asked corporate sponsors. So you'll have McDonald's, put your big, logo branding there and help us build it. So there was no US pavilion at the year 2000 in Hanover, Germany, because lack of funding. So US, being such a big, rich country with its $1 trillion deficit, did not participate in Expo 2000. However, for Expo 2020, they said, yes, we will run it because they have to. UAE is begging, pleading, going so many times to meet Donald Trump. American media reported that non-profit group of companies selected to run the pavilion at 2015 Milan Expo, which ran into financial losses. So companies already burned their finger. So now the question is, who's actually going to participate in this? And 2010 Shanghai Expo, they also struggled for sponsorship, okay, because that time they were going through a global recession. As far as I heard from the people who are there on the ground, the expats, the guys who are working in the project, they said the budget will be passed. They're confident about it. Somehow they'll make the money go. But the contractors, the people who are building this, they don't know if they'll get the payment or not. So that's a big risk. And I strongly believe that the people who are there, the businesses who are, setting up, doing all this construction, most probably they'll not be paid. That is why you'll see many Chinese companies there. And UAE with China, UAE needs China because China is big. UAE is tiny compared to China. They'll just ensure that they comply. But many small players will burn their fingers, they lose everything. And I personally know of people who are involved in Expo 2020 and they are running away, literally. Okay. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Am I right? Am I wrong? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now,